Welcome students. So last class we discussed about the laws regarding monohybrid inheritance, that is law of segregation and law of dominance. Okay. Today we are moving to the last section of our chapter hereditary and evolution, that is in the hereditary part, that is the botany part, we are reaching the last portion, that is dihybrid inheritance. Okay, what is dihybrid inheritance? Monohybrid inheritance, we already discussed that it is we are using only a single character at a time. We are using only a single character at a time. Okay, so Mendel he crossed the pure breed tall plant and pure breed dwarf plant. In the F1 he obtained only tall plants. Okay, then after that he selfed the F1 hybrid, and in the F2 he obtained both tall as well as dwarf plant. So from that he conclude that the dwarfness which is not lost from the F1 hybrid, actually it is concealed or it is suppressed in the F1 generation. Then at the time of F2 generation it is re-emerged, so that the darkness is recessive character and the tallness is the dominant character. And came to the ratio, the monohybrid ratio is 3:1, that is the monohybrid F2 phenotypic ratio is 3:1 and the monohybrid F2 genotypic ratio is 1:2:1. So these are the things we studied in our last class. Okay, then two laws, law of dominance and law of segregation. Then what is dihybrid inheritance? Okay, now we will study the dihybrid inheritance, that is inheritance of two pair of contrasting characters. What is dihybrid inheritance? That is inheritance of two pair of contrasting character. So inheritance of two pair of contrasting character at a time. Okay, at a time we are using two characters. At a time we are using two characters for the cross, that is called dihybrid inheritance. Okay, so what are the two characters Mendel select? For monohybrid inheritance Mendel select the character height. For dihybrid inheritance Mendel select the character seed shape and the character seed color. Seed shape and seed color are the two characters which is selected by Mendel for dihybrid inheritance. For dihybrid cross or inheritance, Mendel selected the two characters, that is seed shape and seed color. Then seed shape. Seed shape, we know there is the two traits of seed shape is round and wrinkled. Round and wrinkled. Okay, then in case of seed color, it is yellow and green. Yellow and green. Okay, so by using law of dominance we already find out which one is dominant character and which one is recessive character. In case of seed shape, the round is dominant character, whereas the wrinkled is recessive character. In case of the seed color, the yellow is dominant character and green is recessive character. Okay, so these are the basics regarding the dihybrid cross. So dihybrid inheritance or dihybrid cross is the inheritance of two pair of contrasting character of pea plant at a time. Mendel selected two characters, that is seed shape and seed color, to perform the dihybrid course. So seed shape is round and wrinkled are the two extremes of the seed shape, and seed color is yellow and green. In seed shape, round is the dominant character and wrinkled is the recessive character. And in case of seed color, yellow is the dominant character and green is the recessive character. Okay, then what Mendel done was, he crossed pure bred round yellow seeds with pure bred wrinkled green. Like monohybrid cross, in monohybrid cross, in monohybrid inheritance, Mendel crossed the pure bred tall with pure bred dwarf. Here, Mendel crossed parents of pure bred yellow round or round yellow. Okay, pure, we can write round yellow. Okay, we will select shape first. Pure breed round yellow seeds bearing plants crossed with pure breed wrinkled green seeds bearing plants. Okay, so parents are pure breed round yellow seeds and pure breed wrinkled seeds. So the alleles are capital R, capital R, capital Y, capital Y. We represent round yellow as RR represent round, YY represent yellow. Okay, then wrinkled R, small r, small r, small y, wrinkled yellow. Then after that it is gamete formation. Okay, how gametes will form? RY, one gamete, RY, another gamete. Okay, so capital R, capital Y, capital R, capital Y are the two gametes from pure breed round yellow seeds. Then same from small r, small y, small r, small y. So these are the four different gametes which get from the parents. Okay, then same monohybrid ratio, same fusion of gametes, same as monohybrid ratio, fusion of gametes. This will give capital R, capital Y, small y, and this will also give capital R, capital Y, small y. Then this will give also capital R, capital Y, small y. Then this also give capital R, capital Y, small y. So our F1 is heterozygous round yellow. All are round yellow. All are round yellow. All are round yellow. So what he done? He crossed pure breed round yellow with pure breed wrinkled green. Okay, so the pure breed round yellow, it represents as capital R, capital Y, capital Y. Then wrinkled as small r, small y. Then gamete will form capital R, capital Y, capital R, capital Y. Here also small r, small y. Then fusion, that is crossing, takes place. As a result, we obtain F1. All the F1 are capital R, capital Y, small y. So F1 are heterozygous round yellow. Heterozygous round yellow. So from here we came to know that these round yellow, heterozygous round yellow are the dominant character, whereas wrinkled green is recessive character. So round yellow is dominant character and wrinkled green is recessive character. So this is the parental cross. Okay, so this is the parental cross. Pure breed round yellow cross with pure breed wrinkled green. We obtained heterozygous round yellow. So this is the F1 generation. Now, what normally we want to do? We want to do crossing of F1, that is selfing of F1. Okay, so from this we came to know that round shape and yellow color of seeds were dominant and wrinkled shape and green color of seeds are recessive character. Okay. Okay, then after this, what we want to do? We want to self the F1. Okay, our F1 is heterozygous round yellow. Heterozygous round yellow crossed with heterozygous round yellow. Okay, now you want to be more concentrate. Gametes. How gametes produce from heterozygous round yellow? Okay, how gametes? So here what you want to do is, first just listen. First you just take any pair. Okay, you can take any pair. I am going to take the allelic pair, that is shape of the seed. I am going to consider shape of the seed first. Okay, so what I am going to do is, it is a easy way, that is capital R. I write 2 capital R. Then I write 2 small r also. Then what I am going to do is, I am going to write capital Y, small y. Here capital Y, small y. So 1 gamete, 2 gamete, 3 gamete and 4th gamete. Okay. Like this you can write, or another way is here. This capital R may cross with this capital Y. So capital R, capital Y. Then this capital R may with capital R, small y. Then small r cross with capital Y. So small r, capital Y. Then small r, small y. That is small r, small y. Like this also you can write. Okay. 2 ways you can write up to your easiness. So we obtain gametes. Now what we want to do? In our last class we discussed about a new method of representation, that is called Punnett square. Punnett square. Okay, that is called Punnett square. So here the checker method is more difficult. Okay, more difficult to represent. So we will use what? Punnett square. Now we are moving to draw the Punnett square using the gametes which we obtained. Okay, so we are drawing the Punnett square. There is 8 gametes. Okay, there is 8 gametes. So 8 rows and 8 columns. Sorry, 4 rows and 4 columns. 1, 2, 3, finally 4. Okay. Male, female. So we will write our gametes here. Capital R, capital Y, capital R, small y, small r, capital Y, small r, small y. Like this. Capital R, capital Y, capital R, small y, small r, capital Y, small r, small y. Okay. Now we want to fill the box. Actually, these are offsprings. By combining this gamete with this gamete, we will get a hybrid having the genotype capital R, capital Y, capital Y. Here we get capital R, capital Y, small y. Here capital R, small r, capital Y. Here capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. Okay. Then next row. Here capital R, capital Y, small y. Here capital R, small y, capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. Capital R, small y, small y. Okay. Then here capital R, small r, capital Y. Capital R, small r, capital Y, small y, small r, capital Y, capital Y, small r, capital Y, small y. Okay, then next here, capital R, capital Y, small y, capital R, small y, small y, small r, capital Y, small y, small r, small y, small y. Okay, so we get these much offsprings, that is we get 16 different offsprings. We get 16 different offsprings. Okay, so this is phenotypically, this is round yellow. Round yellow. Phenotypically this is round yellow. Then this is also round yellow. Why? Because here capital R is there, capital Y is there. So obviously it will round yellow. Here also round yellow. Here also round yellow. So wherever a single copy of dominant gene is there, it will express. Okay, so this is also round yellow. This is also round yellow. This is also round yellow, and this is also round yellow. Then what about this? This is round green. Why? Because there is no capital Y, so obviously it will express as green. That is round green. Then what will be like this? This is round yellow. Why? Because there is a single copy of capital R and single copy of capital Y is there. So it will express as round yellow. Then what will be this? This is round green. Why? Because there is no capital Y, so it is called round green. Round green. Okay, then what will be this? This is round yellow. Why? Because a single copy of each factor is there. So it is round yellow. Then this will be wrinkled yellow. Why? Because there is no single factor of the round shape. So it will be wrinkled yellow. Then this is also wrinkled yellow. Wrinkled yellow. This will be round green. This will be round green. This is wrinkled yellow. Wrinkled yellow. And this will be wrinkled green. This will be wrinkled green. Why? Because there is no dominant gene of each shape, that is round as well as yellow. There is no single factor for each dominant gene. So it will be expressed as wrinkled yellow. That is the recessive trait, wrinkled yellow. So let's count how many round yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there is 9 round yellow. So round yellow is 9. Round yellow is 9. Then we can count round green. Round green. 1, 2, 3. There are 3 round green. Now we can count round wrinkled yellow. We can count wrinkled yellow. Wrinkled yellow. That is wrinkled yellow 1, 2, 3. 3 wrinkled yellow. Then finally wrinkled green. It is only 1. Okay, so these are the Punnett square or Punnett representation of the dihybrid ratio. We obtain 9 round yellow, 3 round green, 3 wrinkled yellow and 1 wrinkled green. Okay, 1 wrinkled green. So This is the dihybrid ratio. Dihybrid ratio is, what is dihybrid ratio? Dihybrid ratio is 9:3:3:1. It is the dihybrid ratio. 9 round yellow, 3 round green, 3 wrinkled yellow and 1 wrinkled green is the dihybrid ratio. Okay. So dihybrid phenotypic ratio is 9:3:3:1. Okay. You understand? You understand how to draw the Punnett score and everything? Okay. Now we are moving to the law which is based on dihybrid inheritance. Law which is based on dihybrid inheritance. Okay. What is the law based on dihybrid inheritance? Actually it is simple. You are familiar with monohybrid inheritance now. So you can simply study the dihybrid inheritance. Okay. Only the difference is in monohybrid inheritance there is only one character we are using at a time, but in case of dihybrid inheritance we are using two pair of contrasting character at a time. Then the law which is related to dihybrid inheritance is law of independent assortment. Law of independent assortment. Law of independent assortment. Okay. So what the law states that inheritance of two or more pair of character. The law states that inheritance of two or more pairs of character. Two or more pairs of characters simultaneously. Okay, suppose there is an inheritance of two or more pair of characters simultaneously, genes of one pair assort out independently of the other pair. Independently of the other pair. So this is law of independent assortment. Okay, so inheritance of two or more pair of characters simultaneously. So the genes of one pair assort out independently of the other pair. This is called law of independent assortment. Okay, so based on our previous example we can just justify what this law is stating. So, law of independent assortment, inheritance of two or more pair of characters simultaneously, genes of one pair was assort out independently to the other pair. Let's look. Capital R, capital Y, small y. That is our F1, first generation of dihybrid cross. Okay, this is the first generation of our dihybrid cross. Okay. Here there is the inheritance of two or more pair of characters. Here there is two characters there. Round shape, that is seed shape, and seed color is the two character. Here inheritance of two character occur simultaneously. Okay, so inheritance of two character is occurring simultaneously. So what happened means the gene of one pair. Okay, the genes, these are the genes of first pair. This is one pair and this is another pair. So these are the genes. Capital R is one gene, small r is another gene of this pair, and capital Y is one gene and small y is another gene of this pair. Okay, so gene of one pair, genes of one pair, it may assort independently to the other. Okay, so the assort out independently means they are distributed independently. Okay, so what it means? Okay, the capital R may distribute independently on the small r. Okay, so the gene pairs are distribute out or assort out independently of the other pair. Okay, independently of the other pair. That is called law of independent assortment. So the capital R and small r, it may assort independently to the capital Y, small y. And in case of capital Y, small y, this capital Y may separate or distribute independent on the small y. Okay, like that in a pairs, the genes are distribute independently without the other gene. Okay, there is no relation between the distribution of these two genes. So this is law of independent assortment. So by this, we are winding up the heredity portion. Okay, heredity portion. We are winding up the heredity portion. So the botany portion of the 9th chapter, hereditary and evolution, is over, and the zoology section will take by some other teachers. Okay, now from our next class, we can discuss about the book back questions related to heredity. Okay, so that's all about today. Then I will write the recap question now. You want to answer it and you want to send it. Okay. So this is your recap questions. You want to answer the questions and send to me before the allotted time. Okay. So these are about the chapter 9, hereditary. We will meet with another fresh chapter in our next class. Thank you.